Lomachenko destroys Anthony $1 Million Crolla. What does it all mean, and who's next? Please like and subscribe. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sunday Morning Champion. Lomachenko absolutely demolishes a pretty decent opponent in Crolla. Loma is now one of the leaders in the clubhouse for knockout of the year. Finishing off the Brit in spectacular fashion in the fourth round. After nearly stopping him in the third, after having him in a world of trouble, Lomachenko puts Crolla out cold in the fourth round. Jack Reese waved it off immediately without completing the count, which runs contrary to what he did in the Wilder Fury fight. Reese told me that he always counts him out. He did not do that with Crolla, and I'm not sure what he saw. I would love to speak to him on it, but that was a big to do in the Fury fight. Was most ref would have waved that fight off when Fury was out cold like he was. Reese did, and it was the right decision. Tyson Fury got back up. Not only finished the round, but finished strong. Finished the round, which was the last round. Finished the fight strong. Won the last part of that round. So Reese made the right decision. Look, it was academic. Crolla wasn't getting up. He was out cold. He was in terrible shape. So it didn't matter if he counted to 10 or not. But he says that he counts to 10. He did not. Indeed, he did not do that in this particular fight. So we want to get into who's next for Lomachenko. Beating $1 Million Crolla, it's a good win. It's another scout. It's a pro. It doesn't do much for Loma. If you don't think he beats Mikey, or if you don't think he beats Tank, you're not going to change your mind off of this fight. If you do, you didn't change your mind off of this fight. So there's a couple of names that we can get into for Lomachenko's next opponent. I'm going to run down the four. Mikey Garcia, Tank Davis, Miguel Berchelt, Teofimo Lopez. We can get into Richard Comey too, and then there's Beltran, but I don't think those names are going to... I think there's one name we're going to see next, and I'll tell you who it is. It's not Mikey Garcia. That's not going to happen, okay? Not soon. We know Mikey's issues with Bob Arum. I don't think Mikey's going to be back in the ring until 2020. And then again, I think that'll be against some kind of tune-up opponent. Mikey got beat down by Errol Spence. He also put on a lot of weight to fight Errol Spence. So if he comes back this year, he'll be at 140. I don't think he can get back down to 135 immediately. So we'll see. But that fight's not going to happen next. Not going to say it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in 2019. I can promise you that. Tank Davis. Not going to happen. Tank Davis, his name is being linked to Yuri Yorkis Gamboa. It's a fun fight. It's not a fight that means a whole lot. Tank should have no problem with them. But Yuri Yorkis is a name. He's a fun fighter. Once a star, always a threat. Once a star, always a draw. And Gamboa's got that going for him. But I root for Gamboa. He won't have much success against Tank Davis. But that's also a fight that Tank Davis needs. Tank Davis' level of opposition since beating Pedraza has not been good. He's got Liam Walsh, Fonseca, and then he's got a couple of junior featherweights and junior featherweights. So, yeah, he needs... it's weird to say this because Tank was such a young champion and he destroyed Pedraza, and that win of Pedraza, especially in retrospect now, we see how good Pedraza is, beating Beltran and then giving Lomachenko all he could handle. That's a really good win for Tank Davis. And Tank Davis is a special talent. But that fight was well over 2 years ago. And he has fought no one in the interim. So Tank needs to get a step-up fight. He needs to fight somebody good, somebody decent, somebody with a pulse, somebody's own size. And I think Gamboa fits the bill on those things. So, again, I don't think the Gamboa fight is a great fight. I don't think it's ultra-competitive. But it's an interesting fight, Tank wins. He wins by knockout. But it puts a live body who's his own size in front of him. And it's been a while since Tank's had one of those. Really, you could say Liam Walsh, who probably wasn't a top 20, 130 pounder at that particular time. But at least he's a top 30 or 50 guy. He hasn't faced one of those guys since, he hasn't faced a top 20 guy since Pedraza in his own weight class. Just take that guy and throw him in with Lomachenko, who I have number 2 pound for pound behind Crawford, is a bad move. So, I mean, as weird as it sounds, because Tank's been at that high level for so long, he hasn't fought other guys at that level, so they need to progress him. I have him fighting a Gamboa. Then, I don't know where you want to go with him. If you can say at 30 if he wants to go to 35, but, have him fight Gamboa. And then have him, fight another top 130 or 135 pounder. Again, I don't know who you'd mix him in with, but leave me some names. Let me know what y'all think. But I think that fight's at least 2 fights away. If that's gonna happen, it'll happen not next. I don't think it'll happen this year either. Most likely, I think it's gonna be Miguel Berchelt. Miguel Berchelt is about bursting out of the seams at 130. If Berchelt fought Loma, they could do it at 130 or 135, as Berchelt can make 130, but he doesn't look healthy making it. It hasn't affected him. He's real big at the size. He's real strong at the size. I think, and Bob Arum said it's more likely than not that fight gets made this year. I do think at the end of this year, Berchelt fights Lomachenko, and that is a heck of a fight. The other name is Teofimo Lopez. This is the sex name. This is the name everybody wants. That's not going to happen. I mean, that'd be suicidal to put Teofimo Lopez in the ring with him right now. He's too young. That's all there's to it. He's too young. He's not mature enough. He's not experienced enough. Look, Loma doesn't just beat people. He annihilates people. Nicholas Walters was a pretty good champion. Nothing great, but a good fighter. Good champion. He hasn't fought since Loma destroyed him. Rigondeaux, a Hall of Famer, one of the most skilled fighters you're ever going to see, has not been in the ring in a meaningful way. I know he had one tune-up fight since then, but that fight was a year and a half ago, and a year and a half since Rigondeaux has taken one tune-up fight. Do you see what Loma does to people? He makes you quit the sport. Don't do that to Teofimo Lopez. There's no reason to do it to him in his career right now. There's easier ways to get Teofimo Lopez a belt than to go through that guy. And I want to address the haters. And this is coming from someone who openly roots against Vasyl Lomachenko. I root against Loma in every single fight. I have never rooted for Loma at any point of his career. On Friday, I was the biggest $1 million Crolla fan there was. But let's be real. You cannot knock Loma's resume. I repeat, you cannot knock his resume. He has 14 pro fights, and he has won titles in 3 different weight classes. He has wins over Crolla, of course, Linares, Rigo, Walters, Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. is one of the most skilled fighters in the world. Loma has a win over him. And then he has a win over Rocky Martinez. I just gave you 6 high-caliber names he's beaten in 14 pro fights. That resume is legit. Look, those names are as good as any resume over the last 3 or 4 years as anyone in the sport. It is. Whatever. That resume is really good. I gave you 6 high-caliber names. Really high-caliber names. A- type of guys. He beat them all. He was hopelessly outsized against Linares. A dang good fighter. A really good lightweight. And Loma knocked him out. I'm not a Loma fan. I openly root against him. But let's speak real about high tech. Let's be reasonable. Let's be honest. Loma's resume isn't good. It's great. Why do these haters? What do they want from him? What do these haters want from Vasyl Lomachenko? You want him to fight 3 guys at once? You want him to fight Anthony Joshua? What do you want him to do? Right? Outside of the Mikey Garcia fight. And obviously that fight's going to be difficult to make. For obvious reasons. He fights everybody. Everybody. Find something else to complain about that's real. Because complaining about Lomachenko doesn't fight good fighters, Lomachenko fights taxi drivers, is not true. It's ridiculous. He's never fought taxi. He hasn't fought one taxi cab driver in his career. After he lost to Salido, he fought the best opponent of his career in Gary Russell Jr. Find something else to complain about, guys. Because you cannot complain about Lomachenko's resume. I know he fought Mariaga, and that was weird, but Mariaga's a decent fighter. Mariaga's a good fighter. Not that level, but he's not a cab driver. Find something else to complain about, guys. Because complaining about Lomachenko's resume, saying Lomachenko fights bums, is a losing argument. Look, I want to see the Mikey Garcia Loma fight as much as anyone, but we know that's going to be difficult to make. Mikey quit boxing in a prime, the absolute peak pinnacle of his career, for 2 years, not to work with Bob Arum. And now you're asking him to work with Bob Arum. That's obviously going to be a problem. Okay? It is what it is. It sucks. It's terrible. It's not good for boxing. It's not good for the fans. It's a great fight that we're not going to get. And I don't know if we're ever going to get it. We're not going to get it soon. I can promise you that. And I don't know how, if Mikey wants to keep making 35, if he wants to go to 40, we may never get it. And we may never get that fight. And that's not fun. But I don't see Mikey Garcia working with Bob Arum. He quit for 2 years. 2 years of paychecks not to work with the guy. You think you're just going to come on to work with him now? That would be weird. That would be weird. So, again, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not putting the blame on Arum. I'm not putting the blame on Mikey. But I just don't think we're going to get that fight. Maybe ever. I want a Mikey fight next too. In reality, we aren't going to get that until at least 2020, probably well beyond, if ever. So let's get him in the ring with Crolla. That's a great fight. And one that's all wrong for Loma. Like, Crolla is going to be all over Loma like a gnat. He thinks Salito made his life miserable. Crolla will make him uncomfortable and miserable. And that's a real fight that could have Arum says he wants to make the fight. So that fight is more likely to happen this year than not. So why don't we root for that fight? Crolla, we have number 10 pound for pound. Like, Crolla can beat this guy. He really can. I'm not saying he's going to beat him. He could beat him. He has the style to make, and the skills, and the power to make life absolutely miserable for Lomachenko. Crolla is one of the most underrated fighters in the sport. He is triple G'ing, folks. He is steamrolling, destroying, beating people up. This guy is really good. And he has the right style and the right amount of skill to upset Lomachenko. I'm not saying he's definitely gonna. I'm saying he could. He has the ability to. He could beat Loma. So why don't we ask for that fight? Because that's a real fight. Right? You guys want to see Loma lose? I want to see him lose. But Crolla's the guy. Because a Tank Davis fight's not going to happen soon. Mikey Garcia may never happen. TV Lopez is not ready for that fight. Crolla is. So why don't we all get on board and ask for that Miguel Crolla fight? Let me know what y'all think. You guys, is that a fight y'all want to see? Do you want to see him fight Crolla? Do you think Crolla would have a chance? If not, have I missed any names? Who do you guys want to see him fight? I've heard Gary Russell Jr. rematch. I've heard a lot of things. Leo Santa Cruz. Tell me the names. And put the matchmaking aside. We're taking Mikey out. Who do you want to see him fight? Give me a name. And who do you think can beat him? I want to see him fight Crolla, and I think Crolla could beat him. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button. Help us hit our goal of 10,000 subscribers. Thoughts, comments are always appreciated. For Sunday Morning Champion, this is 3D Boxing from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.